UD. The story goes that in Wuchang Prefecture, there was a vacant house owned by Yin Tanan, which he rented out to a scholar. For over half a year, Yin Tanan paid no attention to this matter. One day, Yin Tanan encountered the scholar at the entrance of the house. Seeing that he was young with a handsome appearance, graceful demeanor, and splendid attire, Yin approached him and struck up a conversation. Astonished, Yin went home and told his wife about the encounter. His wife sent a maid with gifts to secretly inspect the scholar's living situation. She found a stunningly beautiful woman in his home, along with unheard of flowers, plants, rocks, clothes, and utensils. Upon hearing this, Yin Tanan was unable to fathom the scholar's true identity. He visited the scholar's home, but he was out. The next day, the scholar returned Yin's visit. Upon opening his calling card, Yin Tanan learned that the scholar's name was Yudi. As they conversed, Yin Tanan inquired in detail about the scholar's family and background, but Yudi's answers were vague. Yin Tanan persistently pressed for details, to which Yudi responded, "If you wish to associate with me, I won't refuse. But remember, I'm not a fugitive bandit on the run. Why press me so hard about my origin?" Yin Tanan quickly apologized. He had a feast prepared, and the two men ate, drank, and talked. They drank until nightfall when two strong servants arrived with lamps and horses to escort Yudi back. The next day, Yudi returned the favor to Yin Tanan. When Yin visited his home, he found the walls covered with bright paper that was as smooth and clean as a mirror. An ornate gold incense burner shaped like a mythical creature exuded a peculiar fragrance. A jade vase held 2 phoenix tails and 2 peacock feathers, each over 2 feet long. There was also a crystal vase immersed in a pink-flowered tree, over 2 feet tall, with drooping branches that concealed the blossoms, creating a sparse but abundant appearance. The moist petals resembled butterflies with their wings folded, while the stamen resembled butterfly antennae. Although there were only 8 dishes at the feast, each dish was exceptionally exquisite. Yudi had a young servant beat a drum to initiate a game involving the flowers and wine. When the drum sounded, the flowers in the vase trembled and seemed to shatter. After a while, the petals began to unfurl like butterfly wings. When the drum ceased, there was a soft sound, and the calyx and antennae of the flowers drifted down, transforming into a butterfly that landed on Yin Tanan's clothes. Yudi laughed, rose, and poured a large cup of wine for Yin Tanan to drink. Just as the wine was poured, the butterfly flew away. After a while, the drum sounded again, and 2 butterflies landed on Yudi's hat. Yudi chuckled and said, "This is retribution for my own actions." He then drank 2 large cups of wine. When the drum sounded a 3rd time, butterflies fell all around, fluttering onto the sleeves and garments of both men. The drum-beating servant approached, pointing to the blossoms on each person. Yin Tanan was to drink 9 cups, while Yudi was to drink 4. Yin Tanan was starting to feel tipsy and dared not drink too much. He managed to drink 3 cups before excusing himself. From then on, Yin Tanan was even more convinced that Yudi was an extraordinary individual. However, Yudi seldom interacted with others and remained reclusive behind closed doors. He never celebrated or mourned for others' joyful or sad occasions. Yin Tanan boasted about Yudi to everyone he met. Those who heard about Yudi's remarkable deeds eagerly sought his friendship. Yudi's home was constantly bustling with esteemed guests, much to his annoyance. Suddenly, Yudi bid farewell to Yin Tanan and moved away. After Yudi left, Yin Tanan visited his home and found the courtyard empty, with the ground swept spotlessly. Used candles were piled beneath the stone steps, and remnants of cloth were attached to the windows, bearing clear fingerprints. Only a small white stone water basin was left in the backyard, capable of holding about 1 cubic meter of water. Yin Tanan brought the basin home, filled it with water, and raised several red fish. A year passed, and the water in the basin remained as clear as ever. Eventually, the basin was inadvertently broken when the servants were moving stones. Strangely, the water in the basin seemed to solidify and did not spill out. Upon closer examination, the basin appeared to be there, but upon touching it, it felt soft and empty. When Yin Tunan extended his hand into it, water flowed out with his hand. Upon withdrawing his hand, the water reformed. Even in the harsh winter, the water did not freeze. One night, the crystal structure suddenly reverted to water, flooding the floor, and the red fish disappeared. Remnants of the broken basin were all that remained. A Taoist suddenly arrived and demanded the fragments of the basin. Yin Tunan produced a piece for him too. "Examine," the Taoist said. "This is an implement for holding water from the Dragon Palace." Yin Tunan described the scene where water didn't flow after the basin was broken. And the Taoist said, "The water stored in it is the soul of the basin." The Taoist then earnestly requested a small piece of the broken basin. Yin Tunan asked what it was for, and the Taoist replied, "When ground into powder and taken as medicine, it grants eternal youth." Yin Tunan gave him a piece, and the Taoist expressed his gratitude before leaving joyfully.
Alright, this story has come to an end. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.